David Joniak here. I am at the Mount Wellington studio in New Zealand, and I'm going to give you guys a couple of quick tips to help you perform on the leap year workout, which is coming up on the 29th of February. So if you guys haven't already heard, we are going to be doing 4-minute rows, all right, which can be intimidating to some, so I'm going to give you guys the tools that you need to get through it and to get the fastest or the furthest distance possible in that last 4-minute row. So listen up. We're going to be doing 4 different rows. The first one is going to be a crew row at 22 strokes per minute, the second at 24 strokes per minute, the third at 26 strokes per minute, and the fourth is going to be open. So that's going to be whatever stroke rate you feel most comfortable at. And I'm going to also, later on in this video, show you guys where you should probably stick with your final 4-minute row for your stroke rate range based on your experience level. If you consider yourself novice, intermediate, advanced, or elite. All right, so we're going to break into those 4 different categories. So first off, make sure we have everything adjusted. Make sure you got the foot plate set up. All right, you should only have 2 inches of your shoes or 5 centimeters of your shoes shown above that strap, and that strap should remain perpendicular to the foot plate. So I'm going to go ahead and get strapped in. Remember to always sit forward on your seat, sit on those butt bones. All right, basically the front of the seat should go right between where the hamstring and the glutes meet. And then make sure we got a nice, loose, wide grip, hooking it with those 3 middle fingers. So taking it at 22 strokes per minute, that's going to feel very slow for some of us that aren't used to going at a lower stroke rate. But remember, before we get really good at running fast, we gotta get really good at running slow. Same thing goes for the rower. If you want to be efficient at stroke rate 30 or even at stroke rate 25, you need to get efficient at stroke rate 20 first. All right, so we're not going quite that low. On that first one, we're gonna go as a team at stroke rate 22. So it's gonna be up to the coach to watch for who has hopefully the best technique, not necessarily the fastest rower, but the rower that has the best technique, that's able to drive and stay connected and then slow down on the recovery. All right, once that coach has selected that member to be the team captain or the stroke seat of that 22 stroke per minute row, everyone's gonna line up with them and stay with them, hopefully at 22 strokes per minute for 4 minutes long. Now, is this gonna be a hard row? No, it shouldn't be. Mentally, it might be because you have to really think about syncing up with the people next to you. But physically, it should feel challenging but doable. Think about the first one at 22 strokes per minute being a base pace. All right, a couple things to look out for is just a strong drive on the way back and then a slow recovery. All right, remember, if I am going 20 strokes per minute, 26 strokes per minute, 32 strokes per minute, I'm not doing anything differently on the drive. I'm just slowing down my recovery. All right, so at 22 strokes per minute, it's gonna look something like this. 22 strokes per minute. And then once we go to 24 strokes per minute, we'll have a break in between. It's a switch class. I'll just come forward a little quicker. I'm going to take a little less time during the recovery, but I'm going to maintain the same amount of pressure during the drive, maybe even adding a little more. And then once we do the third row, I'm going to come forward even quicker than the last time. All right, now we don't want to think about rushing the slide. We want to come forward naturally in that same order as always. Arms down away, then we hinge forward at our hips, and then we let our knees come up last. All right, I'll give you guys some pro tips on how to really master the recovery in a future video. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the best stroke rate to have. First off, that first 22 stroke per minute row is going to give your coach valuable time to come up and down the rowing lane and watch what people are doing right and what they're doing wrong. It's going to give the coach 4 minutes to correct you. It's going to give you yourself 4 minutes to correct yourself. So think about it like this. If you are watching a video of someone playing a sport or doing an event, maybe it's running, maybe it's cycling, maybe it's something a little more technical, maybe football. I know that a lot of people that played American football are used to watching film review. And of course, you watch it in real time, typically you slow things down because you're able to get a lot more information when you watch things in slow motion. So consider this, when you go from 30 strokes per minute down to something like 22 strokes per minute, which is going to be that first 4-minute row, it's slowing things down. You're doing the exact same movement, just in slow motion. So it allows you to see and feel what's going right and what's going wrong. And it also gives the coach that valuable time to help you. So that's your first row. After we switch and we do some fun stuff on the treadmills and the weight room, then we'll come back. We'll do another crew row, all right? Possibly with a different team captain or a different stroke seat, all right, with that 24 strokes per minute. And what we want to do is we want to apply what we learned from that first row at the second row, and hopefully that will give us better technique. That second one, I want you guys to think about doing it at kind of a gentle push pace. All right, you'll bring the stroke rate up, we'll add a little bit of pressure, we'll start sweating a little bit, but remember, you still got 2 more crew rows afterwards, or 2 more rows, 1 more as a crew. So then once we get to 26, we'll maintain a higher stroke rate, and we're going to increase the pressure a little more. A good rule of thumb is every time you increase that stroke rate, you should see the split time go down, which is what we're going to be using on that day. And then for that final row, it's not going to be a crew row. Everyone's going to be going for the race effort. All right, this is going to be similar to the Go Row specialty workout that we've done in the past. So here are my recommendations. If you consider yourself a novice rower, I would suggest aiming for a stroke rate between 24 and 26. If you consider yourself more intermediate, you've taken plenty of classes and you know your way around the rower, I'd aim for something between 26 and 30 strokes per minute. Keep in mind, this is going to be a shorter effort than a 2,000 meter benchmark, which we all know is pretty brutal. If you consider yourself an advanced rower, maybe you've taken 100+ classes, maybe you've taken a couple of the rowing workshops that our awesome coaches have given you guys, I'd aim for something between 30 and 34. And if you consider yourself an elite, you know you have that tank, you got the endurance, you know you have the form, and you've done things similar to this in the past. Maybe you were even a rowing athlete in college or high school, then I would say 34 strokes per minute or higher. So anyways, I'm gonna give more videos here on how to conquer a higher stroke rate, how to conquer a better recovery, because that's the most important part of the stroke, and then how to stay connected during the drive to generate the highest watts possible and the lowest splits. So anyways, stay in tune. Please leave a comment and let me know what you guys thought about this video, and let me know how far you guys got on this 4-minute row. I'm really looking forward to it. Best of luck. You guys are gonna crush it.